IDH 3350. This is Matt Torrance, your friendly librarian who thought that the class meeting was tomorrow, and so instead I'm going to supply you with some information virtually to help you get through the wonderful part of using EndNote or RefWorks when you interact with Microsoft Word. And this will be a very short demonstration, but the objectives are basically this. You're going to see how each of these interacts similarly with Microsoft Word. As you can see now, we're looking at the EndNote paper, my crappy paper, and we'll add a few citations and see how that works. And then we'll try it with EndNote, and we'll do basically the same process. I've got all those programs and or websites open, but the objectives are that you're going to learn how to insert citations from your RefWorks or EndNote account into your paper in both parenthetical form and as a final work cited. And usually the system will do both for you, and we'll see that as we go through. Now I have both of the toolbars up here and ready to go. When you load EndNote on your computer, if you're an EndNote user, you will get the EndNote toolbar. You see it offers you the chance to do various things that we'll talk about in a moment as we go into it in more detail. But it will be there, and if it's not visible, you just have to go to Tools or View or whichever one lets you view the different toolbars. The RefWorks one is a little bit different and takes a little bit longer. I'll show you when we talk about that one how you basically have to download it, and then once it does appear, you will need to sort of activate it with a certain bit of code that you'll find within our RefWorks account right by where you download. So again, very similar processes. I think you'll see as we go. You definitely don't want to mix them, so pick one for a paper at least. If you learn to use both, use them separately, don't mix them. So this is my EndNote paper that we're looking at now. This is my crappy paper, and I've gotten to the point where I would like to insert a citation. As you can see up here, there are various options I can do. I can bring EndNote to the front of my screen, which is already running, and that would bring it up, and I could choose citations from there. Or I can search my libraries using this little toolbar to insert things parenthetically, or I can insert them automatically if they are highlighted in my EndNote account. And that's actually the way I like to do it. I generally keep my EndNote open, go to the account, highlight it, and then click that button, and I'll show you that in a moment. Or you can edit them, because there may be things where you already say the author's name or the year, and you need certain things to appear and not to appear. So these will give you the chance to make all those modifications. Then there are other tools here, as you can see, that are drop-down available, including things that allow you to sort of finagle and convert the citations as you go along. And then, of course, there's the style. I've got it set to APA right now, but there are other favorites there, or I can select another style. But I'm going to leave it as APA for this example. So we've gotten to typing our paper. We've got our first sentence, and we want to cite why this is my crappy paper. So we could either open EndNote, search it, or I'm going to go ahead and manually bring EndNote up to the front. This is my library, and I'm going to say it is, for lack of a better reason other than it's the first one that caught my eye, I will take this one by Deckers, and I will highlight it. And now that it is highlighted, I'll just go ahead and sync it back. You don't have to. If you've got a screen big enough, you can leave them both up. And then I will sort of say here, insert the citation that is currently selected to my EndNote library in the APA style, and it will do both the internal reference and the bibliography. And if I add a few lines below that, you can see here that it will keep everything in order. Now I can say, okay, that's good, it included all that, and then I will type another sentence, and I want to cite that. I can go to my EndNote, I can highlight, I'll just pick the next one down, shrink that down a little bit, and then I will insert that one. And it inserts that one, and then you can see it keeps them in alphabetical order down below. And it would keep going on and on and on down the line. There are various things about this that you may want to fix at some point. As I said, there may be cases where this, you'll say in there that you want to change something. You don't want the author's names to appear, just the year. You can't change the text that's in here. You'll notice when I highlight text, Well, it's not doing it very well here. But you notice I pass over this. These are actually sort of linked. These are macros that point to EndNote. They will always appear, even if you just print them. But if I change them, they won't change. So I have to sort of change things manually. Here I've right-clicked on it. I can edit the citation. And in this case, I can eliminate the author if I've already set according to Donovan Friedlander et al. Or something. I can exclude the author, and it will just put the year in. Or I can return that to a default and put it as the normal. You have to sort of make the changes, like I said, at that level or within EndNote. So if you see a citation issue in here, inside of one of the actual works cited items, you may have to go to the actual EndNote library and make the changes there if, for example, a state name isn't capitalized or something like that. So these things will all print and it will work perfectly, but you sort of have to make sure that when you make the changes, you don't make them in the document unless you right-click on one of these and you edit the citation or you do something different with it. So make sure that you know that's the rule when you're dealing with EndNote and that there's various ways you can do that. Now, things are very much the same with, let me grab my RefWorks paper here. This is my other crappy paper, and we have RefWorks open, and I'll bring that up to the front of the screen here. You have, I have my RefWorks account open online, but that's not as big a deal as what you'll have to do before you get that toolbar. So when you install EndNote, generally you get the EndNote toolbar right away, but the RefWorks one you kind of have to install on your own. Certainly not a big deal, but if you go to Tools and look for Write and Cite right there, that will allow you to bring up this little box with the link for either the Mac version that I used or whatever. I think it's sensing that I have a Mac. And now there's all these other links depending on what you need. Now, I downloaded it. It worked fine. But then when the little toolbar finally came up, it asked me for login credentials. And they were not necessarily my individual ones. It's actually this long string of code right here that you see me sort of hovering over and copying. All you will have available when the RefWorks toolbar first loads up is a little sort of person ID, which you can see right here is this little log out button. Now that is where you would go, and that'll be the only thing available to you when you first get to it. So you click that to log in, you enter that code into the first box, and voila, everything works perfectly. Other than that, it's essentially the same exact process. I'm going to pick, I'll go back and pick MLA on here. I don't know why I don't have APA available, but we'll use MLA for now. And then you can see here I've got my choices. I've got either edit citation, insert citation. I can do that. Now, it's brought up sort of different ones. These are all of my folders from my RefWorks account. And you can see here I've got various ones I've used. I will pick one that I used for, my paper here in environmental sciences, and this one here on social implications of the internet. And I will choose that. And then it should insert that in there. And then it didn't do the bibliography. We kind of have to do that as a separate step at the very end. But it will, once you find the end of your process, if you say, okay, I'll put it down here and I'll add one more. We'll call it a bibliography in this case. We've added our DiMaggio one. We want to add another sentence. And then we say, this time I'm going to add another citation. From this one here in Disaster Mental Health. And it's from this article on this one. And I choose that, and there it is. We've got our citations, and then we want to do our bibliography at the end. Of course, it doesn't like my sentence fragment. And then we can simply click here to insert bibliography. And there are the two things that I had used, one of which looks to be a book, and the other is a little bit messy. You see here, it's just got this random little Google thing on here. So we may have to edit this citation and remove some of that in the same way by right-clicking on it and then doing various things, getting rid of that Google bit, and then, oops, undo that a little bit too much. Hopefully we can, let's see, edit, citation, back up and just do that very simply. So in that case, I think it does allow it. Once you do type a little bit on RefWorks, it will allow you to sort of change those, unlike EndNote, in which they're more locked down. So there are other commands you see me hovering over here. The most common one you'll want to use with either of these is to change the style if you have to in midstream. So if we change the style to something different and we wanted to, there's APA somewhere on there, we'll say MLA APA 6 edition. We wanted to do that. You can see now it's changed it all automatically and everything's there. That funny Google word is gone too. So basically the same process. I don't want to make it any harder than it is. Each one of these has great tutorials on their websites. If you have any trouble downloading these or doing anything else, please holler at me or email me at, I think you know, torrance@usf.edu. Thanks again. Sorry I couldn't be with you this afternoon, but maybe I'll come back at a future date, or if you have questions about this, let me know.